Good morning students, welcome back in our science online class. Today we are going to learn about the distillation method. Okay student, so how it is useful for us, okay, that today we are going to learn. See student, we can obtain salt from salt and water mixture. Okay, we can obtain salt from salt and water mixture by the process of evaporation that already we have learned in previous video. But we cannot obtain the water because that water lost in the air. Yes or no? See here, by evaporation, but water cannot be recovered during the evaporation, and it is lost in the air. Then how to obtain the water also? How to get or how to recover both the substances separately? So by the process of evaporation, just we are getting the salt and water evaporates and lost in the air. But now we want water also. So we want to recover water also and salt also separately. Then how we can do these things? So we can recover both the things like salt and water also by the process of distillation. So today we are going to learn about the distillation. So in distillation method, what happens? So first, during the distillation method, water boiled, then it turns into water vapors, means due to the heating, water turns into water vapors, and after formation of water vapors, we brings the temperature of that water vapors into the lowest by the cooling effect, and then water vapors changes into water drops, as you can see here. Okay, so during the distillation process of heating water, okay, see here, first we are heating the water. So after heating, that water changes into water vapors, and after that, okay, and then the cooling of hot water vapors. So cooling of, can you see here, cooling of hot water vapors or steam to get back the water. Okay, to get back the water, means after formation of water vapors, again we are cooling that water vapors and bringing it again back to water state or liquid state. Okay students, so same thing we'll see with the help of example. So how to define, okay, so distillation process is there. So during the distillation process, okay, during the distillation process, evaporation followed by condensation. So both the process takes place during the distillation process. So how this process takes place, that we are going to see now. Can you see here one figure is there? So this is the figure of separation of salt water mixture by distillation. So we are separating salt and water from a mixture of salt water. Now see here, this is one kettle, okay, and in this kettle we are already, you can see here mixture is taken, so that is the salt and water. So this is the, in this kettle mixture is there, and the mixture is of salt and water. So we can call the mixture, or this is the one solution. Okay. Now this mixture we have to separate out into two components. Okay, so first one is the water and second one is the salt. So first provide heat. So already I told you we have to provide the heat. Okay, heating effect is there. So due to this heating effect, what happened? Water starts boiling. Actually, water means the mixture starts boiling. So due to boiling, what happened? The water changes into water vapors, and these water vapors, already this kettle is closed, so there is no space to come out, but there is one small gap, or this is a small hole, that is one spout. Through this spout, whatever the water vapors are there, that water vapors come out of this spout. Okay, can you see here? These are the steam or water vapors. Okay, so these hot steam come out of the spout, and you can see just above the spout. Okay, there is one frying pan which contains the ice cubes. Okay, there is a frying pan which contains the ice cubes, and these ice cubes brings the temperature, or due to this ice cube the surface becomes cold. Okay, so when this steam come in contact with the frying pan, or we can say the cold pan, these steam changes into water vapors, sorry, water drops. You can see here the steam come in contact with the frying pan. This frying pan surface is cold due to the ice cube, and then this steam or water vapors condense here. Condensation is what? The process in which water vapors turns into water drops by cooling. So here cooling effect is there. Yes or no? So this steam condense here means that water vapor turns into water drops, and all the water drops are collected in this beaker. Okay, so you see here two process already we have seen. So first process, water changes into water vapors, so that is called the evaporation process, and then evaporation process followed by condensation. Condensation means the steam condense into the water drops. So both the process takes place. So you will get in this beaker, you will get the pure water, and after the complete evaporation of the water, so what is left behind in this kettle? Solid salt. So this way you can separate out the two components of a mixture into two separate beakers. So in one beaker you will get the water, and in second kettle you will get the salt. Okay, so salt is left behind. So this way we can separate out the salt and water from a mixture of salt and water. Okay students, I hope you understood this method. Now we will go to the next method, that is saturated solution. Actually this is not method, but we can make the saturated solution, students. Now what is meant by the saturated solution? Okay students, so just you see the different substances which are soluble in water, like salt, sugar. These substances are soluble in water, means they dissolve in water. Okay, so those substances are dissolved in water, we call them soluble substances, and these soluble substances can dissolve in particular quantity. For example, okay, for example, see here, a given quantity of water cannot dissolve any amount of substance. Okay, for example, just 1 liter water is there. Can you dissolve 2 kg sugar in that? No, we cannot dissolve, because that water has capacity to dissolve the substance in it. So that is called the saturated substances. Now see here, a given quantity of water can dissolve only a certain maximum amount of substance. Suppose whatever the given quantity of water is there, so that water can dissolve only a certain amount or certain maximum amount of substance. Okay, so how these things are there? So let us see. We can, for example, a 1 glass water is there. Okay, I will explain to you with the help of one activity. Take a 1 glass water and add 1 teaspoonful sugar in it. You can take sugar, otherwise salt, and stir with the spoon. What happens? After some time, that sugar particles dissolve in water and they disappear. Okay, again second time you can go and add again 1 more teaspoonful sugar in it and stir with the help of spoon. What happens? Again that one more teaspoonful sugar will dissolve in water. Okay, so like this we can do 2-3 times. Okay, again you can go and add one more time sugar, one spoonful sugar in it. Okay, so what happens, students? At one time will come. So at that time, after adding sugar in water, that sugar remain as it is after stirring also. So why this sugar remain as it is? Because that water's capacity got over, means that water cannot dissolve more sugar in it. So that stage is called saturated solution. So that solution can be considered as a saturated solution. So how to define the saturated solution? A solution in which no more substance can be dissolved at that temperature. Okay, so at one stage will come. So at that stage water can't dissolve more substance in it. Okay, and if you stir, then also that substance remain at the bottom, that sugar remain at the bottom. So that solution is called saturated solution, means we cannot dissolve again substance in it. So that solution is called the saturated solution. It means that that saturated solution contains maximum amount of substance. Okay, if you have suppose sugar, so that saturated solution contains maximum amount of dissolved sugar. Okay, student. Now see, one example is given here. Saturated solution contains the maximum amount of substance which can be dissolved in it that temperature. Now here one example is given. A maximum of 36 grams of salt, means sodium chloride, can be dissolved in 100 grams of water at a temperature of 20 degrees Celsius. Here one example is given. 36 grams salt, means our sodium chloride, can be dissolved in 100 grams of water at a temperature of 20 degrees Celsius. So that is the saturated solution of salt. So okay, so 100 grams of water can be dissolved only 36 grams salt. Okay, so after that you cannot add more salt in that solution. Okay, understood, students? So here we can see one more chart is given. So with the before that we can see the solubility. What is meant by solubility? Solubility means what, students? So solubility means the maximum amount of substance which can be dissolved in 100 grams of water at a given temperature. So how much we can dissolve? Okay, so maximum amount of substance can be dissolved in 100 grams of water at a given temperature is called solubility of that substance. So for example, so in 100 grams of water, how much salt can be dissolved? Just now I said, how much? 36 grams. So that is the solubility of salt in water. Okay, so solubility of salt in water, how much? 36 grams. Okay, so we'll see now different, just here one chart is given. With the help of chart you can see one more thing. Okay, now see here, the solubility of different substances in water is different. Okay, now we can see these charts, students. Here solubility of copper sulfate is given, then potassium nitrate, sodium chloride and sugar is also given here. So you can see one more thing is here. Okay, now you can see clearly. Okay, now see here substances are there and here solubility is there, and all these solubilities are per 100 grams of water. It means that, for example, 100 grams of water can dissolve only 21 grams copper sulfate. So that is the solubility of copper sulfate. 100 grams of water can dissolve only 32 grams of potassium. Means after that we cannot add more. So that is the saturated solution of potassium nitrate. Sodium chloride, 100 grams of water can dissolve 36 grams of sodium chloride. Okay, then last 204 grams. So 100 grams of water can dissolve 204 grams sugar. See students, from this data one thing we can understand, and what is that? The solubility of different substances in water is different. Means the different, see, quantity of water is same. For all these, quantity of water is what? 100 grams. But the different amount of substances dissolved in 100 grams of water. Okay, so here we can understand that the solubility of substances in water, increases on increasing the temperature. Okay, these 2 points you have to keep in mind. Solubility of substances increases on increasing temperature. Means if you increase the temperature of that solution, so solubility of that substances increases. Means you can add more substance in that. Second thing, the solubility of substances decreases on decreasing the temperature of a substance or lowering the temperature of substances. Okay, these 2 things you can keep in mind. One thing, the solubility of a substance in water increases on increasing the temperature or heating. And second thing, the solubility of substances in water decreases on decreasing temperature or lowering the temperature. Okay students, so I hope you understood this saturated solution, solubility and distillation method. Okay students, so here also effect of heating and cooling on a saturated solution. Just now I said to you, so you can see here, if the saturated solution of a substance at a particular temperature is heated to higher temperature, then the solubility of substance increases and more substance can be dissolved in it. Means if we increase the temperature of saturated solution, so in that we can add more substance. Okay, if the saturated solution of a substance at a particular temperature is cooled to a lower temperature, then the solubility of substance decreases. If we reduce the temperature or if we lower the temperature of saturated substances, so at that time we cannot add more substance in it or we cannot dissolve. Here substances decreases and some of the dissolved substances will separate out from the solid crystal. So at that time some solid crystals forms at the bottom of the solution. So this is about the saturated solution. Okay students, so today here lesson got over. Remaining part means the exercise. Whatever exercise is there, I will send you as a PDF. Okay students, you can do study properly, and all these 3 lessons, lesson number 8, lesson number 9 and lesson number 5 are for the 3rd unit test. Okay students, best of luck for your 3rd unit test.